Oh, yep. One bushel the acre. Sweet. Good morning. Well, I was finishing up some seed business stuff from yesterday, trying to get a few orders put on the system. We are going to do corn plot today. That is the plan here. Dad, I think, is changing points on our ripper here. They're getting quite blunt, dry soil, wearing them out. I don't have any of those ones that are on there for comparison purposes, but these are the new ones that we're putting on. You can see how much longer and pointier they are than those. Man, them are really worn. They wear different than normal. Usually we don't have to replace these until they wear through the face and get a hole in there, but they won't go in the ground because they're so short. Those points have roughly 900 acres on them, pretty close to that, which would be about 100 acres per point. So I don't know if that's good or not, but it's not terrible. They were new when we started this summer, before we did that wheat season.
They're a lot different.
Yeah, they are. All right, well, fueling and deffing while we're waiting here. Looks like we got just a little bit more rain last night, a half a tenth or something. Things are just a little wet, but the sun's shining, so it'll dry up quick, and it'll be a little sticky out there in the field. But like I said, we're going to do that plot, so it's going to take us a while to accomplish anything today. It'll give the rest of the fields time to dry out. Okay, it's time to go. Had another customer stop by wanting to talk about seed stuff for next year, so I got another order, got that put on. That's a good deal. But we're going to take the combine down to my seed warehouse, start working on this plot. I see that my agronomist is down there already, which is good. I have another bag of snacks, put the combine, and we'll see how we do here today. Oh look, they're bringing our fertilizer. Is everything out of the way so he can get to that? Move Dad's truck. So that is 28% nitrogen, 2800. We will use that mostly for fertilizer on our wheat next spring. Price was pretty good here a couple of weeks ago, so we bought it this fall for quite a bit cheaper than what we had to pay for it last year. So they're gonna bring us, I think, 3 truckloads and fill up our tank. All right, well, Wade is here pulling plot signs. We'll have to pick all these up at some point. It's a little sticky out here, but we'll be all right. I think we're going to start with this side, which is my starter and nitrogen rate trials, and then we'll jump over here and do variety trials. All right, we are working on starter rate trials. This is the entry that got 20 gallons of my starter blend applied with the planter. We've already done the one that had 10 gallons and one that had 0 gallons. We'll see how much of a difference there is, but this is some dang good corn right in here. It's pretty, it's standing, it's not broken off the tops. Yeah, I expect this one to do pretty well. Okay, we are now into nitrogen trials. That strip over there, the next entry, I had 0 pounds of side dress nitrogen. Here we had 125 pounds, and then the one we just did was 250 pounds of nitrogen. So it's a little bit difficult to see here, but that hybrid was really yellow all summer. It's shorter. I imagine the stalks are quite a bit spindlier. I don't expect a huge yield difference between these two entries, the 125 and the 250, probably something. I expect that to maybe be 75 bushel corn over there. All right, it was slightly better than 75. It says 136 for that pass. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm thinking that one there is going to be the plot winner. That looks, wow. So what we're doing right here is the population trials. This is planted at 36,000, and I had 2 other ones of the same hybrid planted at, oh no, this one's planted at 40,000. Then I had one at 34 and one at 28. So We are, after I get this one done, everything else left over there is variety trials, different hybrids. So we're gonna go empty the grain cart and test the samples that I've already got here, and then we'll get some lunch and come back and do the rest of that here this afternoon. Okay, so I'm doing the testing of the samples to get the moisture and the test weight from all of our stuff here. These are all the same hybrid. There's no hybrid difference whatsoever. And in the population stuff, we didn't see much here. Relatively close moistures and test weights. But the first one of the nitrogen trials that I just did, way wetter, lighter test weight. We'll see what the next ones do, but that's wow, that's a big difference. Okay, time to get back to our plot here. I'm actually going to park the grain cart back here. We're in the back end of the field by the woods, because these plot entries go right out to the grass on the back side of my lawn, and so I don't want to drive through my grass any more than I have to. So we're going to work off of this end here and see how it goes. So I got to walk back up to the other end. Well, this one's a tall one. Huh. It's amazing the differences in the characteristics in some of these hybrids. Yeah, and this plot has a lot of damage from our spring flood, like this spot right here. We got a trail right through there where the water washed. It's going to compromise our data, but it is what it is. So we'll take the best notes and information that we can, and just any results that we get, take them with a grain of salt, I guess. At least it's standing here. Look at that. Not a broken stalk in sight. That's beautiful. Okay, we're back in the combine. Time to get the varieties out. And there are 25 of them, I believe, something like that. It's a lot. This one here that the stalks are all broken over on, this one just so happens to be a DeKalb number, 6088, just in case any of you guys plant DeKalb and you were wondering. It's got crappy stalks. Well, this hybrid looks pretty good. This is 112 day 12S75, I believe. Standability looks great. It's very tall. This is the one that stood out in my drone pictures and was just, it had a very upright leaf, which you can still kind of see. There's not much in the center of the rows. Looks good. We'll see what the yield ends up here, but I'm impressed with this hybrid. So you guys are only going to see stuff on ones that stand out to me one way or the other, because this is my way of keeping notes, putting it in a YouTube video so I can refer back to it later. Okay, this is the one that I walked back through, and here's that spot where we had that little bit of water damage. Water ran across it. Nothing I can do about that. We'll take a note of it. But standing really, really well. We'll see how this one's going to yield. I'm hoping it does well. I want to be able to sell this one. So we are getting across here, though. Most of them are pretty consistent. I don't think there's as much variation as I thought there might be, which is a good thing, I guess, as long as they're all yielding pretty well. So I'm going to have to empty the grain cart pretty soon. It's getting full, and we got, I don't know, 8, somewhere like that left to go. So we're getting there. Look at the color of the corn coming out of there. So we're getting into some of the earlier stuff. This one's an experimental, but just like here are the last two samples, and you can see this one's very dark. I don't know if that's a good color or not, but difference, that's for sure. Interesting. Okay, we're getting to the real early stuff here. I think this is a 99 or 100 day experimental number, and it's one of the two that the coon just destroyed it. So this one will get thrown out. We're going to try and get enough to get a sample out of it at least. Maybe we can get some grain quality information, but yield stuff is no good here. The one in the next one is standing okay. I think that one will be all right, but then the one on the end over there was destroyed as well. So wildlife, I tell you. It's phenomenal corn. I've never seen such good corn before. I think, oh, yep, 1 bushel the acre. Sweet. Oh, look at that. We got a yield spike. Up to 19, oh, 21. At least it's dry. This is 95 day corn. This is what happens when we plant super early corn like this, especially just a narrow strip and a plot. It pollinates before everything else, so it's a little bit ahead, so it gets those sweet corn stage ears before anything else, and the raccoons find it, they single it out and destroy it. early stuff dropped off substantially. So anyway, plot is done. We are going to sample all of this stuff. Phil is back. He had to go with our crop insurance adjuster down to Berkey to measure the bins for our claim that we're gonna have on our corn down there. But anyway, he's gonna get trucks unloaded for me while we do them samples, and then we are gonna go do another field tonight. We got about 36 acres in a field down the road. That'd be a good one to go do tonight. This is a lot of samples. 21.4, 54.3. That's not bad. I don't know, what number was that?
Experimental 90169.
Experimental. Doesn't mean anything to me. All right, Wade got all the information that we needed from that. All of our samples are done. I'm going to start the dryer up here, and then we're going to get moved to the next field and try and keep moving. Still dumping trucks, so. I pulled the little jumper wire out I had to put in the other day to see if this was going to work without it. Everything seems to be okay, but let's see if it starts. So it goes through this initiate, and then if it goes to purge, we're good. If it throws a fault, we're not. Yeah, it threw a fault. Nope, there it went to purge. Okay, I guess it is going to work. Sweet. We'll wait a minute, see if it actually fires. When this flame signal one says 5 volts, then you know there's a fire in there. Maybe. Maybe. There it goes. 5 volts. We got fire. Now we hit our unload button, and we're good to go. Off we go to the next field. All right, we got the front field done. We're gonna jump across our little bridge here and do the backfield. The front is only 11.5 acres. And what's the backfield here? 25 maybe, something like that. Let's see, what does it say? Come on. 24. So this won't take too long. All right, well, I finally got most of the end rows done. Some of this corn's not terrible, but a lot of it, especially the ends in the back along the woods there and stuff, was quite bad. This field is a lot of hilltops stuff. It's kind of a high point in the area, and it doesn't lay very good, so it's not one of our better fields. I don't always expect, or I don't ever expect, to have great corn here. But I hope it picks up from where we're at. That 120 is not very good. So, but end rows are always the worst, especially end rows along trees. So some of this out here in the middle should be decent corn. Hopefully we'll get up to at least a 150 average by the time we're done here. We'll see. I guess it's about time. It's so much more realistic when I show you the monitor and it shows you how dark it actually is outside. Much better. What do we got? 14 acres left. All right, we're down to the last 2 or 3 rounds here. Just wrapping this field up. One thing I've noticed today, my yield loss monitor has been at like nothing all day. Just every now and then it'll get a second bar on there, but hardly any. So I've tightened stuff up a little bit, but I need to get out and check my sensors and make sure they're not covered with dust or leaves or something stuck to them. But I haven't seen any kernels land on the ground. I did get out and look, and we're doing a good job. It's just, I like it when that sensor works because it gives me an idea when things change, you know? It's not always telling me, or it's not always about whether I'm throwing too much out or not. It's just as we get into different conditions and what kind of adjustments that I make on the combine and whether it's having an impact on that. And when it stays at the same spot all the time, it's hard to know what changes are affecting stuff. But maybe it is just that low and we're not throwing anything through. That's a good thing. Also, as you may be wondering about the surging issue that our combine's been having, I told you yesterday that they tech sent me a software update that was supposed to help fix that. Well, I have not been able to install that software update because it has not shown up on my display. It's a remote software update. It's supposed to be wireless, and there's supposed to be a menu icon for me to install remote software updates. So I have not been able to do that. However, as I say this, the combine is surging just a little bit, but it hasn't been bad today. Like, the only time that I really notice it is when we're going downhill and it's actively trying to hold itself back from just rolling down the hill. So I can't explain it. I don't know why, but today it's been much, much better than it has been. Whatever. Again, that's a good thing. So there's a lot of replant corn in this field, and we'll talk about that some more in a minute, but can you see the rows? Good job, planter operator. Good job. Yeah, so I'm working right along the edge. Can't see it, but I am. And when I get on the opposite side of the field from where I set my guidance line, where I start the field, I always drive by hand the first 2 passes with the planter, so it'd be 4 passes with the combine. And clearly when I did that with the replant, I completely missed the rows. There, now we're out of the replant and I can see the rows again. All right, I finished it up. We did not make 150. 136. Ouch. Field's no good. There, it's surging on me. Hasn't done that like that all day, hardly. Oh well. We're gonna run this combine back to the farm. We don't really need fuel, but we're gonna get fuel because I'm hoping to have a big day tomorrow and I don't want to have to worry about it. So it is almost 9 o'clock, so we're not going anywhere tonight, but we're gonna take this back, get the trucks unloaded, and get the grain cart back to the farm probably too. Maybe we're not gonna have a big day tomorrow. Started raining when I was on the way home. Well, we'll see. Dad's gonna run me down to the field. He just got back with a chisel. He had been chiseling on one of the bean fields. Got that done, so we pulled in about the same time. It's gonna take me to get the grain cart. Well, I don't know how much rain we're gonna get tonight, but there is some scattered rain showers around. Looks like the heavy stuff's gonna go south of us. We'll see. I was hoping to have a big day tomorrow, but if it rains much more, we've already had 10th, I think. Yeah, it says 0.41, but that includes the rain from the other day, and then we had like 3/10, so yeah, about a 10th today. So one more thing before I go home for the night. This is a yield map from the field that we just finished. You can see that same thing we've seen a lot of other places, highly variable. There are some good places in the field. There was a lot of crappy places, and especially along trees and stuff. But this is the areas of the field that got replanted, and it's a little bit hard to compare them, but a lot of that zones matches up. This stuff down here, this corner down here, along this edge, this back corner. And so what I'm finding here in our yield so far is that, yeah, the drought hurt us, the flood hurt us more. So again, this is the field that we just finished. It was only 23.5 acres. These are the 2 varieties. So the 09Y24 was the original planted stuff. The 03R40 was the replant. So basically it tells us how our replant did compared to our first planted stuff. And if you look at the yield, we gave up almost 20 bushel an acre in the areas that were replanted versus the areas that were not. That's bad. So while being dry certainly has brought our overall total yields down, we'd be in a lot better shape if we hadn't had that 5.5 inches of rain there a week after this stuff was all planted. That's the one that really killed us. And I've said this before, I don't know about on my channel, but I say this a lot to people when I'm talking to them, especially seed and stuff, but good weather will make up for a lot of mistakes early in the growing season. Now, I don't know that we made any mistakes, but when we have stress conditions like we did from that 5.5 inches of rain and then having to replant late, planting late is a mistake. Sometimes it's an unavoidable mistake. There's nothing we could do about it in this case, this year or last year. But last year when we did that, we had good weather. We had rain the rest of the year. And while our quality wasn't good, our yields were still pretty good. The rain made up for it. Good weather the rest of the year made up for it. This year, we got really dry. We had not good weather later in the summer. And so that mistake of planting late, first week of June, we didn't cover it up, and it cost us. It cost us big time, but it's one of them things. What are you going to do? You did the best that you could. So I had a feeling that was going to be the case, where our replant corn was not going to be very good, and so far that seems to be the case. It'll be interesting to me when we get to the fields where we tore it out and started completely over, how much different those are, because I think part of my problem now is that where I replanted in these fields that we've been doing, I just went in and dropped the planter where it looked a little bit thin. And what happened is we ended up with an overpopulation. Instead of being a little bit thin, we ended up with, you know, a rate and a half of what we should have had there originally. And so then those plants were competing with each other all summer for the little bit of new water, moisture that was there. And yeah, no good. So where we completely tore it out and replanted and it didn't have that competition, maybe it's going to be better. But anyway, time for me to go home. Thanks for watching today, and if you have any questions and comments, as always, leave them down below in the comments section, and hit that like and subscribe button for me, please. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.